I've just come from a Zoom call with some other writers in the writing studio in Nottingham, which I've been a member of for several years. It's a brilliant place. It's a small community of more than 100 people who all have that desire to write, that passion to capture words on screen. Some of us write short stories, some of us write novels, others write non-fiction. We're a mixed bunch of people. The video call was about why, for you and I as authors or writers, the idea of a YouTube channel can add to our business. It can add to our profile and the development of not only our storytelling, but the sales of books and the sales of other sideline products, which often we don't consider when we're getting started as writers. And I just want to share with you some of the things that I talked about and how we looked at those together. The first thing is the reason why. If you know why you can build a YouTube channel and the benefits that will bring to you, then it makes it a lot easier to bring together the ideas and the thoughts and almost the philosophy of why a YouTube channel for you as an author can bring significant benefit. Opening an account with YouTube is really easy. Starting a channel and registering is a very straightforward process. You go to your Google account, you click on that box on the right-hand corner of your screen, which has the little grid of squares. You open that, and one of those will be YouTube. You click on that, and you're directed to a place where you can open a YouTube channel. When you choose the name of your channel, it could be your name and author, or your name and books, or your name just as it is. But you can, within the next 2 weeks, change the channel title. And every time you want to change the channel title, you can do so after waiting for a short period of time. Because as your channel develops, you will find that you want to cover different topics, and those aren't necessarily always identified as being attached to the title of your channel. So my message on that one is, don't worry, you can change your channel title several times if that's what you are led to do. Finding your message for YouTube is really important. I started off thinking that I would just be talking about my books, Declutter Your Home, Climbing Out of Debt, Simple Self-Help, 10-Minute Budget, and that I would take from the book titles and create content around that. What I discovered was a surprise, and I found myself talking about the writing process, dealing with procrastination, selecting your pens, setting up your office, establishing a routine within your day in which you can regularly carve out time to write and use that for your artistic productivity, for your creative outlet, but giving it a consistent and regular time for writing. I have done a playlist of the Declutter Your Home book and another playlist which I've taken from the Climbing Out of Debt book, but those are only a small number of videos from the 100 or so that I've created and uploaded here over the last 18 months. Grab a pen and paper and take time to identify what you think your core messages might be, how you would like to come across on your videos, how you want to either be a face-to-camera channel or a faceless channel. I have another channel which I don't appear on at all, and it is just me taking film footage from my camera as I move around the city. Sometimes it's restaurants, other times it's public parks, it's transport systems, it's tourist sites, museums, bookshops, and that works well as a completely faceless channel. And that one, since I launched it in February, has far outstripped this channel of Nick Sturgeon Books. So take time to think about what you might like as your initial or your early stories for putting your channel together, but be aware that you might be faced with other ideas and themes which present themselves to you, and you then know you have to take advantage of it. For example, for those of you who've looked at this particular channel, you'll see that some of my largest videos with thousands of views are nothing to do with books. One is walking around a historic city centre. The other is visiting a beach town in the north of England. Those have got thousands of views and represent something like 20% of my viewer hours on the channel. I find that being by the seaside is always a creative atmosphere, and it puts me in the right mood to write. It puts me in a mood where I want to be grabbing that pen and paper and heading out to a coffee shop and writing for a couple of hours every morning. That video of walking around the historic city centre and showing all the colonial architecture, but also the restaurants, the crowds, the beautiful buildings, that's something that inspires me, and it works. I also enjoy when I'm watching videos, or sometimes when I'm writing and working from the studio here at home, I like to have ASMR videos or walkabout videos where I hear the background noises of people and traffic and birdsong, and I just have that playing in the background. So for me, that works really well. So consider your message, consider the voice you want to find within your channel and how you will deliver some of that content. It might take 50 videos before you find your style. I know that it took me a dozen videos to start to understand how to use my camera on my phone, how to use a microphone, how to set up a tripod if I was talking to camera and I was sitting outside, or I was speaking from a table at a coffee shop. All of that came from experimentation, and you will do exactly the same, but don't take it too seriously. The thing to do is to hit press record, grab the content like I'm doing here on my phone, and you can either upload it as it is, if it's a simple first run, 4 or 5 minute video, or take it to your desk, put it on your laptop and use something like iMovie or Adobe Rush or InShot to edit your video down to 5 or 6 or 10 minutes that is the right content from what you've recorded. Talking about equipment, it doesn't need to be complicated. I still use my Samsung S8 phone, which is quite old school. It's more than 5, maybe 6 years old. I have a tripod that I bought from one of the big online platforms, and that cost me £10. And I have a cable and a microphone here, which cost me another £15 or £20. I can't quite remember. But again, I bought it online and I added it to my little equipment set a few months after I had just been recording videos only on my phone, balancing my phone on a bookshelf and talking to camera about maybe a book that I loved and did a little book review, or I had some pens and I talked about why those pens are useful and good. It created content for me, and it allowed me to practice and practice and practice creating videos. You can do exactly the same, and you do not need a lot of equipment. In terms of the actual content, there are things called long form content and short form content, which are horizontal landscape or portrait videos that you create. If it's a short, that takes up to 60 seconds. Some of the most popular shorts I've recorded are only 4 to 10 to maybe 15 or 20 seconds. The longer ones actually get less play because people are in the habit of scrolling and flicking through their phone. And often it's the short ones, the very short shorts, as they're called, hashtag shorts, those get huge view time. I began this channel 18 months ago, and it was only 4 or possibly 5 months ago that I started using shorts. I was a bit confused about what they were, and my first short format videos were remixes taken from the existing long form content here on the channel. I think I've got about 350 of those on the channel here, and maybe 105 videos that are long form, and it's the long form content that gives you lots of hours on your channel. If you're thinking about monetization and getting paid for the ads that are played during your long form videos, that's a slow game. Monetization, as and when it comes, is a good thing to have, and you could focus on it, but don't obsess about it. Put content out there that you think your audience will appreciate, and create from the voice that is your authentic voice for the channel and those topics which you're really passionate about and excited to share. But if you have in mind a sort of archetype or a perspective on who that person is that's your audience group, it will help. I know that some of the people who watch this channel are new authors, nervous authors, people who struggle with the idea of procrastination, who want support and help in consistently getting to a place where they are writing in their own style until the point where they feel they are confident enough to press publish. That's one audience group. The others is people with a few books out there, a bit like me. I've got 5 books that sell at the moment. I think there's quite a few people who follow the channel just because they look at my channel and lots of others that they subscribe to, because they want encouragement to go from being a regular creator of written content to the point where they're generating an income that they can not necessarily live off, but which allows them to pay some of the bills. It pays all their equipment, it pays for their software, it pays for their new laptop, it pays for maybe a holiday during the course of a year. Somebody who's generating a few $1,000s every year that is exciting for them and has made the difference, so they can confidently say, I am an author, here are my books, and they are selling on various online platforms. It's one thing to put your camera out and record a video. The next thing to do is to have it published and visible on YouTube. But between those two places of recording and publishing exists the editing process. I use a MacBook Air to edit my videos, and within the operating system for Mac is iMovie. It's very easy to use, and I edit everything on my MacBook. If you're not a Mac user, then Adobe Rush has a great system where you can use their free system or their paid version. If your digital life is lived mainly on your phone, then you can edit, especially if you're doing shorts, you can edit your videos on a piece of software called InShot. It costs about £6 or £7 for a year, maybe just less than $10 for a year. And that is a brilliant little tool that you can edit everything on your handset. To actually go to publish, you open your YouTube channel, you click on the top right-hand corner for the camera icon, and you hit upload, and from there you select the video you want to publish. But then you will see it sitting in your YouTube studio, and you can add a title to the video, you can add a description, and also I would suggest you use hashtags. YouTube, like Google, is a phenomenal search engine, and people will put something in there which may lead them to your video. Choose a good title. Choose a range of hashtags. I normally put 20 to 30 hashtags in each video. So this video, for example, might end up being called, "Do you need a YouTube channel as an author?" Or it might be called "Author Channels on YouTube," something like that. Then I'll write a description that might be 4 or 5 paragraphs, and I will upload that. And then finally, you add all the hashtags that might be relevant. The other thing you can do on YouTube, and I think this is great, you can do the work, upload the video to YouTube, but you publish it when you want to. For some of you, that might be important if you're dealing with a particular audience in one country. For example, if you're publishing in the UK, you might want everybody to see your video. If you do one a week, you might want it to launch at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning. That's easy to do. You go into settings, you process it for a date the next Saturday, and you say 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. or 3 in the afternoon, and you get to choose. I hope that's been really helpful. I only wanted it to be a short video, but I felt that having come straight off that Zoom call with other writing studio colleagues and friends, it was good to take a summary of some of the stuff we looked at within that Zoom call and put it into a short video here. But what you might also find, just as I have, is that other things will come from that. Having a YouTube channel has allowed me to be paid for editing some people's books. It can bring you many things. It's likely to increase your book sales. It's likely to help you reach new readers. It's likely to give you the opportunity to take part in podcasts with other authors or with channels that are book related or which are niche interviews online about this specific skill set that you have and which you are encapsulating in your written output. I hope this has been really helpful. I just wanted it to be a quick overview of some of the topics that I dealt with and shared with my colleagues in the Zoom call earlier today. But the idea is that you can create a YouTube channel, that you don't overanalyze it, that you get your camera out and you record and you upload and you add a decent description, plentiful hashtags, and that your channel is a place where you talk to your existing audience and readers of your books, but also where you potentially find new readers and new buyers of those things which you're producing. So my takeaway for you from this is create a YouTube channel, find your voice, and define what it is that you love to talk about in the writing space. We're all different, but that means we all have something to bring to our audience group. Wherever you are in the world, I wish you happy writing.